Hey everybody! Well, it's been a while, and I know that I said in my last video that I would be doing another question from a viewer about Gyaru0, and I did record that question, but in all honesty I was not too happy with how the video turned out, and it was quite difficult to really get a clear conclusion. And for example, she said that she was confused by people telling her to go look for certain magazines, and I pretty much gave her the same advice as all the other people already gave her. This may sound very confusing, but it pretty much, that's probably what the video also was. The video was not that clear, so I will probably redo the video and then post it up later after the 109 special. So this will be the video before that. And in all honesty, I think it's a very interesting topic, and it happened to me yesterday, so it was pretty spontaneous that I came up with this. But it's about modeling in Tokyo, and pretty much, probably a lot of people who watch my videos are interested, in fashion, things in modeling, and maybe also want to do some modeling of their own. Modeling, if you live in Japan, is pretty easy to get into. Because they pretty much always want foreigners, and the problem is that they cannot get a lot of foreigners because usually the foreigners that they see in Tokyo are foreigners that are on vacation, and you need a visa to work there, so you have a big chance of being spoken to on the street a lot, of people who ask you to do a little thing for them. So, yeah, like I said, if you're a foreigner and interested, it's pretty easy. It is not very easy if you're an Asian foreigner. So, for example, if you, if you're Chinese and you grew up in the U.S. and you come here and you want to do some modeling, that is almost impossible, I would say. I've talked to multiple people who work in the modeling business, and if you're not like native Japanese or half Japanese, if you're Asian, you almost have no chance. There are, of course, exceptions. There are famous Philippine models and stuff like that, but that is more a chance of luck than anything else. So yeah, as I was said, pretty easy, but there are a few things to consider, and this is what I will talk about in the video. Namely, that there are some stuff you need to be careful of. Probably a lot of people involved with fashion, maybe Gyaru culture, interested in fashion, kind of dream like doing something in fashion, but they don't want to apply for at a modeling agency because they find that maybe arrogant, like oh, I go to a modeling agency so I find myself beautiful enough to be a model, so they wait until they are scouted by someone to get a modeling job. I'm here to tell you now, that is the wrong attitude. If you're doing that, almost certain that it will not happen. As I said before, you always need people for the thing. If you're a foreigner, live here, would be interested in modeling, just go to a big agency and apply there, and well, chances are pretty big that you will get in it. Now, chances are not big, of course, that you get very famous or stuff. If that's what you want, that is the more arrogant part. It's not necessarily arrogant to say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna apply for a modeling agency. It's more arrogant to say, oh, I'm gonna apply for a modeling agency and I'm gonna be as famous as all the men's egg models or egg models, stuff like that. But I was talking about applying for the big agencies. There's a reason why, and this is a learning experience that I learned yesterday. Pretty much, I've been spoken to by a few people who say, oh, I work for this company, or I work for this company, we're looking for models, are you interested? In the beginning, I was not yet that comfortable with it. You also need a certain stamp in your passport if you want to work with a exchange student visa, so you need that. Many Japanese people don't know that, but you need that. Chances are high that you still can get a job without that stamp, but for example, if there's some official problem going on where police is involved and you don't have that stamp, you're in trouble. But I got the stamp, so and I heard from a lot of people that it was very easy for foreigners, so I got more open into it and I considered it, and I thought, well, payment for models is pretty low. If you want it as a job to make a living of, chances of that are very small. But just to if you have, for example, if you have school or if you have a regular job and you want to do something on the side, then it's pretty good to combine it with. So yesterday I was waiting for Mika at Shibuya at Hachiko, and I was a little bit early, 10 minutes early, and a girl came up to me, and she was all dressed nice, a little bit Gyaru-ish. She was she had a huge diamond ring, very big, and she came up to me and she was like, "Excuse me, do you know Japanese?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And pretty much, if you can already see by her fashion that she was in the modeling business and stuff like that. And what surprised me was that it was actually a girl. Usually it's guys who do the scouting, and this was the first girl that came up to me. And she was all nice, and she was like, "I work for this this company that does that scouts models for not only fashion shows but also like runway projects, music videos, commercials, movies, that sort of stuff. And if you're interested, can you please lend me an hour of your time and we can explain more in detail what we can do for you." Usually what you get when you get approached by is, "Can I get your data and we will call you later." So it's like I've been spoken to before, like there's a project coming up and we would like certain models, and can I have your name, number, sizes, stuff like that. The girl asked that as well, but what was particular here is that she actually mentioned that if I wanted, I could immediately hear all the details. So I said, "Sure, I'm waiting for my girlfriend, so let's wait a little bit longer, and then she can go to translate if I, for example, would not know something that was said." So we waited, and we went there, and Mika was already a little bit suspicious, but saying that if I actually felt more comfortable here because it was a girl, because usually it was if it was a guy, would you be like, maybe it's a scam, maybe if it's a sleazy guy, it's a scam. And this was a nice, young girl, 23. Usually the scouts are older because they have to kind of know what kind of people are good for scouting. But we went to their company, which was in Mark City. Mark City is a big mall-like building next to Shibuya Station, and it's very new. It's actually a new part, so very new, very stylish and everything. So I came in that office and I was like, whoa, I saw offices before and those were very sleazy, small, very trashy, even though eggs, like Men's Egg and Eggs office is also very sleazy, but that's very good. They don't need it necessarily, I guess. There's more quality for the whole thing that they have. But so we went in there and I was like, oh wait, this is better than I expected. It's all new, all better. We waited for a few moments and then we spoke to, I don't know what his position was, but a guy in a jacket who would explain us the details. Now this guy, I will. By the way, show you. This guy started explaining, and he grabbed a sheet, and he started drawing stuff on there, and he was talking about like, yeah, we are a small company, but we have a lot of connections with other companies, and I don't even know what's up or down. This is up. So it's like, we are this company here, and when we get like a job offered, we gonna search models that we are here, and then we get contact here, and the cameraman we get from here. And I was confused as hell, and this took 25 fucking minutes of shit how stuff works there, which I did not understand, but it didn't explain what would happen to me. It would explain how, a job kind of would work, how they would organize and how they would get the models and camera guys. During the whole conversation, he was also emphasizing how, even though it's a small company, how well connected they were with famous people, famous models, famous singers. He knows that I like Men's Knuckle, so he was like, oh, we have a lot of girls who work also for Men's Knuckle, we have a lot of guys who work as Men's Knuckle, so if you want that, that's all great. He also started talking about his own modeling career, which was very weird, but he was very trashy. I mean, it was the weirdest it's not a job interview, but weirdest interview that I've ever had. I mean, I was very uncomfortable. He did this sound like all the fucking time, and he burped also in the meanwhile. I was like, what the fuck is this? Because I was like, of course I was interested, so I was all, sitting up straight and being attention, not arms crossed or hanging or stuff like that, and he was like all the time making fucked up sounds. So I already got my doubts there. I also noticed that even though the office was very beautiful, they shared it with a lot of other companies that were not in the modeling business, so it was indeed a very small business. But then the fucking killer came, and this is not only a thing for Japan. If you're into modeling business, or if you want to be a model, this is the rule to remember. He was like, if you want to work with us, we will have, to shoot a professional photo for in your portfolio. That will cost $400. 40,000 fucking yen, 400 euros, whatever, it's probably a little bit more dollars, for a photo. And, pretty much the rule, if you want to get into modeling, if the model agency asks money for that photo shoot, don't do it. It's a scam. He said, there's a chance that, if we have this photo, that you might not get work because, you don't know. They hear from the companies what, which model they want, and then, the agency contacts you and sends you over there. But here's the thing. If they, for example, right, organize a big event, they want models with experience, not just a newbie. And the other thing, usually the ones that do this are the small companies, because they don't have money for an own photo studio with professional lighting and everything. The reason why you need to pay them is because they rent a studio out with cameramen and everything. And that is also how they get a bit of their money, because they're so small, so they need to have, a better income. A big company has their own photo studio in their office, in their building, so they can they can do it for free. So that is the main rule. If they ask you for money, don't do it. Don't do it. And especially 400 euros. I don't know if you can buy a TV or something from that, or a PlayStation, or an iPad, or, well, I don't know an iPad, but like an Apple device. So for just one or two photos, it was ridiculous. And not only that, I learned something interesting. This is also important. A few years back, the police had forbidden it for people to actually be scouted. So scouting has actually become forbidden, or illegal. Now, that doesn't mean that you cannot be spoken to, but usually if you get, spoken to for, like, hey, we're looking for models, usually it's students, fashion students, who need models for a fashion project. That's, of course, still allowed, but really for a working company, it's not allowed. It doesn't mean that it's, it's not happening, because for hostess bars it still happens sometimes, and here also. So my advice also, if you are being approached on the street by Tokyo by someone who says, hey, I run, or I work for a fashion company, would you be interested in modeling? Don't do it. Or, well, the first thing you need to ask is for their business card. If they don't have a business card, definitely don't do it, because if they work at a company, they must have a business card. So if they don't have that, then definitely not. If you're like, well, this company seems pretty trustworthy, you can do it, because probably not everybody is bad, but majority of the scouts is bad. But just like I said, don't feel guilty for wanting to go to a modeling company. Just go online or search for modeling companies and apply there. And that is much easier and much less trouble and much less risk also. I mean, you have the same chance of, you know, finding work or not at the big companies, but at least you know you didn't spend $400 on a photo there. And that was pretty much my story. I thought it was very interesting. The whole it was a very learning experience. It took an hour though. The interview took an hour. It was, and pretty much all I wanted to know what was my next step. I mean, if I agreed, what was the next step? What happened then? What happened then? What happened then? And that is how it goes. You know, and the scout obviously gets a lot of that money that I paid, the $400. So that's how they work. And it was pretty much, it's a scam. And the scout, she asked for my number. She called me a couple of times, didn't answer the phone. So not gonna do that. And yeah, I hope this was also very interesting for you guys. So I will see you guys next time with the 109 special. See ya.